Mr. President, in your daughter Ashley Biden's diary, she said you showered with her at an inappropriate age. Is this true? Why are you smiling like that? It's creepy, Mr. President. Please answer the question. Where are you going? Where are you going to sniff some kids? Joe! Joseph! Mr. President, in your daughter Ashley Biden's diary, she said you showered with her at an inappropriate age. Is this true? Why are you smiling like that? It's creepy, Mr. President. Please answer the question. Where are you going? Where are you going to sniff some kids? Joe! Joseph!
Okay, now I'm going to put this on pause. The underlying facts to this hilarious piece are not funny, but comedy writes itself sometimes. Now, I had this idea, and it took me some time. I was like, I'm going to wait because, like, you know, when I first saw the original video, let me bring this out for a second. We're going to come back to this. When I first saw the original video, I still couldn't believe that the original was the actual original. It was a reporter asking Joe Biden, Trump thinks that you're behind this and responsible for his prosecution and conviction. What do you have to say about this? And he did that demonic smirk. And I saw that original video and I'm like, oh my goodness, that sounds like someone overlaid the audio, that it was something totally unrelated. And they asked that question. And anyone who shares this video is going to get, you know, flagged and community noted for sharing disinformation. The original was bad enough. And I'm like, holy crap, this is like the blank page for the memes of the internet. Like I'm going to do it. Let me just make sure I can get something that I can actually show. That's not going to be good enough. Hold on. Not for goodness sake. Here, we're going to do it with this. Oh, I just dropped something. Yeah, we'll do this. Like, you know, you never hold up a blank sheet on the internet. There's reasons for that. And Amy Coney Barrett can tell you this. So you do something like this. You're inviting people. I just did it, and that's going to be funny, to put stupid things in the meme. When you have a video like that the audio could be anything, and that dramatic zoom, demonic Satan smile. Well, I was like, oh, I had a question that I could have asked, and it would have related to, you know, Ashley Biden's diary. I don't do that because I'm not a stand-up comic yet. Part 2 of my life might be coming soon. And then nobody did it. And so then I put out a video and it's terrible. Like my audio is terrible. I don't try to equalize the background noise. And I put it out and I'm like, nobody did it. I feel, you know, the joke writes itself. Here you go. And within 30 seconds of me doing that, everyone's like, I guess you missed Vinny Oceana's tweet because he did it and he did it good. Now I'm going to refresh this just so everybody can see who the comedic genius behind this is. Vincent Oceana. A friend, like another one of the amazing people I've met through this internet journey. Vinny Oceana, Valuetainment. I say Oceana. Vincent Oceana, actor, comedian, veteran, storm chaser. Amazing. Dude, we're going to go chase a storm together. Daredevil, uncle of 5, gun enthusiast, Assyrian lion, Valuetainment, content creator, stand-up comic, and he's amazing. And he did it. Now, Vinny does something, and he knows that every time he does it, it makes me laugh hysterically. It's the, and he does that noise at the end of his videos, and it makes me laugh because it's freaking hilarious. So when he does the Joseph at the end, it's hilarious. But he did it, and he did it good.
Mr. President, in your daughter Ashley Biden's diary, she said you showered with her at an inappropriate age. Is this true?
I mean, it was made for this.
Why are you smiling like that? It's creepy, Mr. President. Please answer the question. Where are you going? Where are you going to sniff some kids? Joe! Joseph!
I mean, it's classic. There was also another hilarious one, which was of Joe Biden farting. So he turns and he goes, and as he does it, he goes. The link to Vinny Oceana is there. If you don't follow him, follow him. And he's on Minect. This is going to turn into an ad for Minect, but it's not. He's on Minect, which is a valuetainment app where you could like text and call, and they have like, you know, it's like PayPal, or not PayPal. It's like Facebook. It's like telephone conversations and text messaging, but at a certain price, so you can support the people you like. Vinny is the best. Vinny came over for dinner. He's come over for dinner once now. I love him. I mean, in a platonic. I've said too much. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a random time to start a stream because I was just on with Jack Posobiec, Human Events, talking about the ridiculous Trump trial, the ridiculous Trump conviction. It actually sort of merged, segued intertwined, so to speak, with the Bannon upcoming sentence. Is he going to? I think Bannon going to jail potentially upcoming soon. The question is whether or not he's going to get suspended sentence or no sentence yet until the appeal has been exhausted. Not so convinced about that anymore. That now that we've had the Navarro sentence imposed, happening at the same time that Alex Jones and InfoWars are under attack in terms of actually moving to shut them down. Not a coincidence, any of this. Timing-wise, it's been years. Jones has been under trial under that ridiculous $1.5 billion, obviously $960 million plus other costs verdict, which was a verdict on a default verdict and a quantum issued after a trial on the quantum, not on the merits, whatever. None of this is coincidental in terms of the timing. It's actually quite, what's the word? The word in RICO? Racketeering, intimidation, corruption. What's the word I'm looking for here? Well, this is basically as RICO level conspiracy as you can get. It's all happening at the same time, and it sure as hell is not by accident. So if you didn't see me on Human Voices, I tweeted out. You can go watch it. The segment is good. I was going to start with a video that we're going to go into in a second. And we're going to. Oh, so hold on. I don't often take the compliments on the hair, but I was at the ocean yesterday, and the ocean, this is like the perfect 2-day window in between it looking greasy and brushed when I have to brush it and grease it versus when it gets naughty and ratty. It's like and the ocean water, oh, it really brings out the curls. We're going to talk about the Trump derangement syndrome, these idiots who, they're such idiot talking heads that they don't even bother looking into it. So I'll get into it in a bit. Then we're going to get into the Fauci hearing yesterday, which I will go over it so that you don't have to watch that 3.5 hours of. It's interchanging. It's interchanging between like verbal assault and back massages. Verbal assault, back massage. Verbal assault, lick your boot. Verbal assault, something even grosser. We're going to get into that, talk about that and some other stuff. Before we even do that, people, because hold on a second. Ich bin ein Idiotin. Hold on. I don't have my website's up here. This is because we've got sponsors, people, and we've got wonderful sponsors. And I'm going to do one and then the other in a second. Before we get to anything, the links for these sponsors, and there are 2 today, are in the chat, and they are the ones that we all love. If you like coffee, then you'll like 17. I don't say like, you will love 1775 coffee because it's not Oh God! When I went to Orlando over the weekend to see Barnes in his speech up at Rebel Capitalist George Gammon's conference, I had Starbucks. I hate Starbucks, and I want to go one step further. I think I want to hate people who love Starbucks. When you drink crap coffee, and I leave my home and I can't make the coffee before I go, and you drink that crap, and it tastes like burnt poison. 1775 is the exact opposite. It is beautiful. It is strong. All right. And speaking of, Joe, are you a sleepy Joe with zero cognitive performance, scared of walking upstairs and falling, scared of falling downstairs? Do you struggle to muster the focus and brain power for basic things, basic functions like riding a bike? You need to stop drinking woke, liberal, disgusting coffee and start your day by drinking Rumble's very own 1775 coffee. Never mind that it'll be the best tasting coffee you've ever had in your life, as in seriously good. It'll put hair on your chest, people, metaphorically speaking. It's ethically sourced from a family farm in the high altitude mountains of Bolivia. It's delicious. So instead of waking up tomorrow with your disgusting mold-infested, big corporation, woke, pesticide-ridden coffee, support 1775 coffee. Build the parallel economy that we all need. If you drink coffee, there's no reason to drink any other coffee. I know people have their coffees. I love 1775. It's delicious. It's like that scene in Pulp Fiction. When I drink my coffee, I want to taste it. When Connie makes the coffee, it tastes like Starbucks. When I make the coffee, I want to taste it, and it's delicious. And this is some gourmet shia, if I may. 1775coffee.com. They've got medium, dark, peaberry, pick one. Use promo code VIVA for 10% off your first order, so make it a big one. The link is in the description. And thank you. And there you have it. Now, I should have made sure that we're live across all of the interwebs. We're quad streaming here, people. Let me see. We're live on YouTube, which we won't be forever. We're live on Rumble, which we will be until we have our locals after party. We should be live on Twitter. I've started doing live on Twitter here. Yeah, we're good. We're live on Twitter. And that is it. And we're live on vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Now, before we even start, mad scientist Lara says, if Starbucks is so bad, why did you buy it and drink it? Because you need coffee when you're driving, and when you leave at 6 a.m, you need coffee. McDonald's is no better. And J-Zack says, Viva, you're on the wrong mic. Oh, God. No, I'm on the wrong mic. I did Jack Posobiec, and I was on the wrong camera. And now I'm on the Instalink camera. Hello, ladies. I should now be on the right mic. Gosh darn it, is that annoying? That's annoying. I double-checked and I triple-checked, and then something must have reset. Oh, Lord. As I check whether or not we're live on YouTube, I see an ad from Sleepy Joe Biden. All right, now I'm on the good mic. That's good. I went to vivabarneslaw.locals.com because I wanted to read 2 tipped questions before we get too far into the stream. Doug Lee fan sent a $1 tip, says Don Jr. was talking about Amos Miller when he was on with Tucker. That's amazing. And Sleepwell in our vivabarneslaw.locals.com asks, Viva, I can tell that you're bilingual English-French. My question is, are your children also bilingual, and which language do you prefer to speak? I'm learning French, but I only speak it to my dogs so far. I don't know if I would qualify myself as trilingual anymore. Once upon a time, I could speak Hebrew. Like I learned Hebrew, French, and English were equally as fluent up until 6th grade. And then when you leave Hebrew school, you don't really get all that much time to practice it. And I think if I were inundated, or at least, if I had no choice, I could pick up Hebrew pretty quickly because I can still understand it and say some stuff. But no, French, English, perfectly bilingual, in my humble view. And I think one of my failings as a parent is that the kids are not bilingual, and nor will they acquire that superpower now that we've left Quebec, because they won't be learning French in school. One did, and the other 2 were too young. And if they've picked up any French, they're not gonna retain it. So that's I think every kid should be studying at 2, if not 3 languages, because it does build a certain part of the brain, and it's immensely useful. I'm hoping they're going to pick up Spanish, because I think that's the more useful second language to, or even first, depending on where you live in America. Certainly more so than French, but French will make me look like a Renaissance man. Okay, people. The intro, I didn't get to it. Viva Frei, former Montreal litigator turned current Florida rumbler. David Freiheit is my full name. Freiheit means freedom, verbatim in German. We start on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter, and vivabarneslaw.locals.com. And then at a given point, I think before our guest of the day comes on, who is Tiffany Justice, who also has a great name, Moms for Liberty, is going to come on at 4 o'clock. We're going to move over to Rumble and vivabarneslaw.locals.com to support the free speech platforms. And because I have exclusivity with Rumble, and I have it because I want it, because I love it, because I think we need to vote with our eyes, vote with our feet, and vote with our dollars. If you want to support the channel, there are ways of doing it. Super chats and Rumble rants are one way, such as these. Bear in mind, YouTube takes 30% of these. If you want to support the channel in a cost-effective manner, Rumble has these things called Rumble rants, the same thing. They take 0% for the rest of the year, but typically they take 20%. And you can support by joining and becoming a member at vivabarneslaw.locals.com. $10 a month or $100 a year if you get the entire year one shot. If Trump gets elected again without massive election fraud again, he needs to put Fauci away for a long time, and Biden and Pelosi. Trump is not guilty, just like the bullcrap insurrection. I think the problem is now what they've done. You know, when they say if Trump gets elected, he's going to put us all in jail. Let's not be presumptuous. They should stand trial. And they have now made their beds by going after Trump so much that they've basically ensured that reality will come true. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They've gone so freaking hog wild on Trump. Trump must. Because the people have had enough of watching these bullshit congressional hearings that are pure political theater of the highest order. It's just a question of who's better at the theater than the others, and nothing happens of it. How many people have to lie under oath to Congress before they are charged with and or convicted of, as the case may be, before people start to realize if they don't do this, they are not serious hearings? It seems the only people who get convicted of contempt of Congress, Navarro and Bannon. Merrick Garland right now is defying congressional subpoenas and flipping the bird to all of America, like the dude who was accused of assaulting the police officer in New York. He wasn't one of them, so don't repeat that disinformation, giving the finger as he's released from jail. Merrick Garland is giving the two judicial middle fingers to America. He's defying congressional subpoenas and saying, F you can't do anything about it because I am the law. Fauci's up there lying to Congress. You're not going to do anything about it because I am the science. It's pure political theater of the highest order, and people are getting fed up with this crap. So the question was, they've now made it such that they have to, Trump, when elected, will have to make meaningful, church committees 2.0 with, I don't say prosecutorial power, but maybe with prosecutorial recommendation power. And people need to stand trial for what they've done, because what they've done to Trump, it's not political, it's not abuse, it's not exaggerated, it's criminal, period. It is the RICO criminality that they are accusing Trump of in Georgia. You imagine? I mean, I'll preach to the choir, and I don't think we need to go over it again, but I'll do it. In Georgia, you have Fani Willis corruptly misappropriating hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay her boyfriend, who then participates in her malicious prosecution of Donald Trump and 18 others, while surreptitiously colluding with the Biden administration legal team, while surreptitiously attending events at the vice president's house. Oh, it was just a party. Yeah, shit. And people don't talk business at party. That's what they go to parties for. You don't go to parties for the open bar and the clowns doing juggling. You go to parties because that's where people talk shop. So you have RICO corruption at the level of Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, colluding with the Biden administration to prosecute the leading presidential candidate for the Republicans. That's RICO. In New York, you have RICO. You have E. Jean Carroll, through her or with her attorney, partaking in changing laws to facilitate the opening of a closed window so that she can go to that politically prejudiced jury pool and a lie about what she says Trump did to her 25 years ago and win. Then you get New York nipple Judge Engoron colluding with Letitia James, colluding with Michael Cohen. I'm trying to think of what Michael Cohen's role in there. He was colluding with Letitia James, right? Where he gets up on the stand and says, you should thank me for what's going on. That's RICO. And then they accuse Trump of RICO. Then they accuse Trump of falsifying business records to influence an election, which is not what he did. It didn't involve campaign funds. And it is exactly and literally what Hillary Clinton did with the Steele dossier, paying for opposition research that were lies, having her attorney slip it to the FBI so that he could then in turn give it to Yahoo News, who could publish it, so that he could rely on the publication of this disinformation laundering. That is criminality. And he should go after them. They should investigate the Clinton Foundation with the fine-tooth comb that they investigated Trump's finances in New York. And they won't find bullshit that they have to fabricate into crimes. They'll find actual true crimes, probably. Maybe a little bit of human trafficking to boot. You know, I was thinking about it today. I'm listening to Alex Jones's The Great Awakening. And I just have this, like he's talking about the Nord Stream pipeline. They still don't know who did it. Yeah. They don't know who was on Epstein's client list. They don't know who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. They don't know who brought cocaine into the White House. But my goodness, did they ever identify that little dude circled in red who happened to be at the Capitol and arrest him and prosecute him and sentence him to years in prison? That they can find. They can't find who carried out the biggest act of infrastructure terrorism, arguably in the history of America, or the world, I should say. They can't find out who the sex trafficker was sex trafficking children to. Can't figure that out either. And they can't figure out who brought cocaine into the White House right after Hunter Biden, had access to the White House. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, who knows? But don't expect these idiots to know anything. I saw this clip and I'm like, okay, this is the best thing I've ever seen. This person, who now I know who she is. We'll get to that afterwards. I won't. I'll spoil it afterwards. I see this clip right before this. This was the alternative for the intro video. So it's good. We'll watch it now. Yeah, watch this.
My fellow panelist here is celebrating that the rule of law has been vindicated and overturned 234 years of American legal tradition. I would challenge her to see if she could possibly articulate how and what crime Trump committed, because so far Alvin Bragg, the DA, has failed to do so. The judge in the case, Judge Merchan, has failed to do so. And they can't do it because Trump didn't commit any of the crimes for which he's been convicted.
I'll stop right there. She reminds me of, I don't know, a darker-haired Scarlett Johansson. So I'm inclined to say I like her. Although I don't know Scarlett Johansson from A Hole in the Wall. I just remember that movie, Lost in Translation with Bill Murray. I might have only liked that movie because I like Bill Murray. Therefore, I liked Scarlett Johansson and Centauri. Do I have a glass here? It's always time for Centauri time. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I probably wouldn't like it anymore because I don't like anything anymore. Okay, but let's just hear what Francesca has to say.
Well, let's just ask quickly before I go to Kevin. Francesca, just on that point, what crime did Trump commit?
It was financial crimes. It was white.
It's RICO's not a crime, and financial crimes, and RICO is not a crime.
All are crimes. That is exactly what they charged him. He was convicted on.
What was the crime?
It's New York State law.
I understand. What was the crime?
Let me stop you, Francesca. The three crimes: tax fraud, federal and state, and campaign finance laws, which the judge wouldn't allow a campaign finance expert to come into. And the judge said to the jury, don't worry, you don't even need to agree unanimously on which of these three options you have. Just pick one. Throw a dartboard. But listen to this flailing idiot, talking head. The reason why she's unable to even flesh out the steel man of her own freaking position is because she's never had a discussion with someone who disagrees with her, who makes her think and makes her rationalize and justify to herself what her position is. I could steel man it better. I also happen to have followed the trial meticulously and thoroughly. Let's let this clown show continue.
Francesca,
I don't even like it. It is literally he just got convicted on 34 counts.
Francesca, what was the crime?
Of like cooking the actual books.
What was the crime?
Cooking the actual
You are not allowed. So you are not allowed to use your own financial, your own money to pay off somebody, and then he logged it as something different. He logged it as just a.
You're not allowed using your own money for NDAs. Okay, you're an idiot. Then he logged it as something different? No, he didn't.
Regular payment, but he was actually paying off this porn star to keep quiet, which if he hadn't been running for president would not have mattered, but he was. And so it impacted campaign finance laws in New York City.
It impacted campaign finance laws, even though it wasn't paid with campaign finances, unlike Hillary Clinton's. Even though the FEC looked into it and determined there were no campaign finance violations. Okay.
State. Okay. That is what Juan Merchan just oversaw this. Alvin Bragg brought these charges because Michael Cohen, his sister, was already sentenced to 3 years to do it.
Let's just go before Kevin. I'll be very, very, very patient.
But
I will come to you.
Look, I'm no expert. Let me just say.
You're not only you're no expert, you're an idiot.
No, Francesca. You are no expert. That's because the campaign finance law is a federal law.
Hang on.
Anyway.
Idiotic. I mean, beyond idiotic, ignorance and siloed ignorance. Because if she had ever had a discussion with even a conservative or an extreme MAGA Republican or me, if she had ever had a discussion with anyone who disagreed with her, even if they disagree with the charges, they could have explained to her what the alleged underlying crimes were. Morons. These are morons. But who was she? I didn't know who she was until I Googled. So I saw someone say the Young Turks. And then I Googled Francesca and the Young Turks. And what did I find, people? Well, I found something. Come on, where is it? I have the website, the backdrops here somewhere. Do I not have? She's on the Young Turks. Oh, come on. Was ist das? She's on the Young Turks. Ah, crap. I wish. Hold on. Let me just see her. Francesca Young Turks. I know I brought it up before here. There it is. Okay. Just so we know, Francesca Fiorentini. It's a very nice name. Kind of channeling Sarah Silverman and Scarlett Johansson. Okay. Here we go. I know I looked it up here. Okay. All right. Francesca Kate Fiorentini, FKF, born September 10, 1983, is an American journalist, progressive political activist, and comedian. Well, that explains all of it. Because that was funny as hell. I mean, unintended comedy is the best comedy. N'est-ce pas? The Young Turks idiocy. No, I mean, I had no idea who she was, but it's just idiocy. But this is the problem when you don't have discussions with people who challenge your beliefs, even if they're wrong, Even if you know that you're right, at the very least, they force you to flesh out and properly formulate your position. But when you are not confident in your position, you tend to avoid doing that, which only compounds the inability to defend your own position because you're never challenged on your ill thought out position in the first place. Congratulations, Francesca Fiorentini. You're an idiot. And may that video echo through the ages with its pure idiocy. Now, there were some other things that I want to bring up before we get into the hearing. The congressional hearings, whatever the hell it was yesterday. It's just, it's so gross and so disgusting to watch. We're going to go over the highlights of it because we're going to talk about it with Tiffany Justice when she comes in to talk about what she's up to. I want to play this. This is fantastic. Then we're gonna cleanse the palate after this. I like recording. First of all, I love it when I get these ads, the Biden ads on YouTube. I let them play. And then I go click on the link. Whatever it is that I don't do that because someone might say that that's tax fraud. If you make them pay for the ad when you have no interest in doing business with them, well, that's election interference. I let the ad play. Listen to this. I let the ad play and I record them because they're so effing cringe. First of all, look at her face right now. She looks like she doesn't want to be there. This is an actual ad, and see if you can pinpoint the accidental piece of truth that Kamala Harris. Come on, which one is it? I don't want to piss off Gavin Newsom. Harris. See if you can determine the moment where she actually accidentally tells the truth.
I know you don't want to see Donald Trump retake the White House. I know you don't want a nationwide ban on abortion. I know you don't want major cuts to Social Security and Medicare.
Okay, so first things first, I'm going to break this off in a bit. She's talking with the back of her nose, and it's very annoying. And the vocal fry with the nasal, I know you don't want to do that. It's very annoying. It's very difficult to listen to. But who am I? I flail my hands around like a raging idiot, so we all have our foibles. Okay, fine. Let's get to the substance of what she has to say.
In this election, we each face a question. What kind of country do we want to live in? A country of chaos, fear, and hate, or a country of compassion, freedom, and rule of law?
Oh, what were the first three there? A country of chaos, fear, and hate. I want to swear right now, but I won't because it'll be taken out of context. Do you know what's going on, Kamala? Do you know what's going on campuses, in big cities, on subways? Do you know the increase in whatever the law calls hate crimes? What country do it?
Or a country of compassion, freedom, and rule of law.
A country of rule of law when they are criminally indicting lawyers for representing their clients for putting forward legal theories that Democrats themselves have put forward in the past. There is no rule of law in America. That, at the very least, has been laid bare for the world to see. And Putin is sitting there rubbing his belly saying, good luck lecturing me ever again, Herr Biden.
Joe and I are doing everything we can to protect our freedoms and keep Donald Trump away from the White House. And we need your help to finish the job. Please chip in today to help power our campaign. Thank you, and please take care.
Thank you, and please take care. Here's the part where she accidentally told the truth.
Freedom and rule of law.
Not this, right here.
Joe and I are doing everything we can to protect our freedoms and keep Donald Trump away from the White House.
Oh, they're doing everything they can to protect their freedoms because they have good reason to believe that if and when Trump gets back into the White House, he will clean house, he will defund these criminal organizations, and he will criminally prosecute, or at the very least, authorize a law-abiding DOJ to actually prosecute those who actually deserve to be prosecuted. Maybe not Kamala. She hasn't really done very much. Joe is going to be too demented if he's even there to ever face justice for his long history of injustice. But others, Merrick Garland, Anthony Fauci, Victoria Nuland, maybe Blinken. Who else would be on the list? Oh yeah, then we got Fani Willis, Alvin Bragg, Judge Engeron, Judge Marchand, Letitia James, just to name a few who should face the very same treatment that they have leveled against their political adversaries. So I wanted to cleanse the palate with that. Oh, Lordy. Don't make excuses for Biden. No, I'm not making excuses for Biden. I'm just making excuses for his inability to ever stand any form of meaningful trial, much like Ron Jeremy. If you know Ron Jeremy, was credibly accused of, convicted. I didn't even know he didn't get convicted, but charged with all sorts of things. And then he went freaking, like, you want to see dementia downfall, like not I won't say faking it like Harvey Weinstein, but holy crab apples. If you didn't see what happened to Ron Jeremy, the hedgehog, look at what happened to him before and after. He went full demented to the point where he couldn't stand trial because he just had total senility. You know, a life of debauchery and drugs and satanic rituals will really wreak havoc on you. Oh, but speaking of unhealthy, let's talk about the healthy. Our second sponsor of the day is Field of Greens. You have your wonderful 1775 coffee in the morning, and then you have your Field of Greens twice a day. It's a little known fact, everybody, that you're supposed to have between 5 to 7 servings of raw fruits and vegetables a day. And it's a well-known fact that I won't pick on Americans because there's plenty of Canadians who are not healthy either by choice or by circumstance. You're supposed to have 5 to 7 servings of raw fruits and vegetables a day so you can get the antioxidants, the fiber, the vitamins, the nutrients, the antioxidants. Most people, I don't know how many servings people have a day, but most people don't get that. If you have bad habits in the afternoon, you suck down a Diet Coke, you can do this to substitute out your bad habits while getting 2 servings of fruits and vegetables daily. Field of Greens. It's actually delicious. It looks, like you're drinking swamp water, but there's a good reason for that because swamp water is rich in nutrients. It's the water of life. This is the water of life. You take a spoonful, it's desiccated fruits and vegetables. It's not a supplement and it's not an extract. It's a food. It's USDA organic, certified, made in America. 1 spoonful twice a day, stir it in some cold water and drink it down. It's delicious. It's healthy. It'll give you a dose of vegetables, fruits, antioxidants, all the good stuff. It is quality stuff that everybody should have for gut health, for body health, and you can use it as a substitute for bad habits. And when you're traveling, if you can't get your raw fruits and vegetables, you get 1, 2, you can maybe even have 3 scoops a day. You'll be fine. And you get your 2 servings of raw fruits and vegetables. It is, what's the website? It brings you to Brickhouse Nutrition, but you go to fieldofgreens.com. It'll bring you to Brickhouse Nutrition. Use promo code VIVA. You'll get 15% off and free shipping. Fieldofgreens.com, promo code VIVA. It's delicious. I have it. I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables in any event, but it is a good substitute for bad afternoon habits. Twice a day. Link is in the description. Thank you very much, Field of Greens. Okay, now we're going to get into stuff that's going to make you want to retch. Oh, hold on. I'll see if I can get my container. It's USDA. I should tell you what I'm replying to. Certified food. It's certified organic. It's USDA certified organic. And it's not people. It's vegetables, people. That's the soil and green. We're all talking about that. Let's get into this. They had Fauci hearings yesterday, and Zika replaced coffee with it. I don't know how. I don't know what could ever replace my morning cup of coffee, but I've replaced my afternoon cup of coffee with something cold because I don't like having something hot in Florida in the afternoon, and I don't want to have Starbucks iced coffee because I still hate that stuff. The best stuff actually is when I have leftover coffee from the morning, I keep it. This is actually very cool, totally random. 1775 iced coffee. You keep the leftover coffee. When it gets room temperature, you put some sugar in it, and you blend it up with a banana and some ice, and then you have your beautiful iced coffee smooth A. All right, forget about it. Nobody cares about my dietary habits anyhow. After you go for a jog, people do some push-ups and be healthy. When you process any fruit or vegetable, the nutritional value is much diminished. Nothing is as good as the raw fruits and vegetables, but this is desiccated and not a supplement or not an extract. So from what I understand, it's basically like dried, pulverized. That is Field of Greens. And so you're getting as good as it can get short of the real fresh thing. Okay, that's it. Now let's go to the stuff that's going to make everybody want to retch. The hearing yesterday, they have Fauci. The news is out there. Oh my God, it's going to be beautiful. I was going to live it, but it's the summer. The kids are off school. It's virtually impossible to even get a window, and other, trivialities of life get in the way to make it very difficult to sit through 3 hours of torture. But while I'm driving around, I can subject to the other family members to the torture of listening to this charade. They have Fauci back for committee hearings. I don't really fully appreciate or understand. I have to go find an article. What the purpose of these hearings is. They're under oath. They're like congressional. Bring him back, ask him more questions. And then the only problem was, I like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I like her, despite the fact that the more the media tries to make me dislike her, the clips that they show kind of make me like her. look, she's not as tactful in some of her attacks, and she's a little more, is the word ham-fisted? What does that word mean? Hold on a second. Ham-fisted. What does that mean? Definition. That's a gram. Ham-fisted definition. Okay, I just got something that is clearly not ham-fisted. Come on, people. Definition of ham-fisted: lacking physical movement skills, especially with the hands. Bumbling, bungling, but no. So ham-fisted is not the way I'm going for. I'm thinking more like sledgehammer as opposed to finesse. The media tries to make me dislike Marjorie Taylor Greene. Whenever they do it, I just end up liking her more. But she's blunt. Well, she's blunt, and also it's just sometimes it's not a targeted attack. Like sometimes when I see Fauci respond to her tirade, I say, okay, Fauci outplayed her, and that we shouldn't have that. Okay, so bottom line, Fauci's out there 3 hours and 13 minutes of diarrhea. It's verbal diarrhea, where they have Fauci there. They have a chance to, under oath, screw him, put the screws to him, confront him, get him to lie again. But you say, get him to lie again. He's already lied. Mr. Paul, with respect, you don't know what you're talking about. And Rand Paul was right. So they get him. Ham-fisted is actually correct. Okay, I'll use it. Rose England. So they have this hearing, and I mean, it's like, it's a joke. It's, people call it political theater. It's political theater of the absurd. I don't know who all of the players are. I know some of them, Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and some of the Democrats. I don't need to know who they are. Within 30 seconds of their question, I'll know what political affiliation they are. I'll know what political party they're with. They have these opening statements. First of all, I can't fucking stand this faux politeness, this corporate air to this. This is why I had a great difficulty sitting down in a courtroom and get up and say, Your Honor, and you write legal papers and you say, thus, for aforesaid date, and all this jargon, all this faux politeness. It drives me nuts. But that's because I've always been a bit of a pain in the neck rebel. I can't stand it. But within 30 seconds of anybody, 5 seconds, I know who they are, what political orientation they are, and where they're going. But this is the problem. So you had it was a diametrically opposed 5 minutes of either jerking someone off, if it's a Democrat, they're just going there and like touching Fauci in his privates and saying, oh yeah, it feels you did good. You're a hero. Oh yeah, you like that. Or 5 minutes of yelling at Fauci without really getting much accomplished. But there were some subtleties, and there's some stuff that can't be ignored anymore. And what I actually saw and what I was actually repulsed by was the degree to which the Democrats are complicit in covering up Fauci's, what I believe to be criminality. I was slow to the bandwagon. I believe Fauci has committed crimes, has partaken in the commission of crimes against humanity. I believe he was at the helm of the ship that committed crimes against humanity. I believe that he lied and caused the deaths, or directly or indirectly led to the deaths of increased numbers of people. Through recommendations, through omissions. I believe, and I think it's relatively clear cut, he lied under oath about funding gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And he wordsmithed his way out of that. And instead of, coming in and just grilling him on that, Marjorie Taylor Greene comes in and yells at him. She made some decent points, but she got my rage out, but she didn't get anything strategically done. Jim Jordan, I think, came the closest. But this guy, Dr. Ruiz, I didn't know who he was before yesterday, and call me ignorant. Let me just see who Dr. Ruiz, Democrat, is. Dr. Ruiz is a Democrat. Dr. Ruiz for Congress, a bold leader and for California, the son of hardworking farm workers. Dr. Ruiz grew up in Coachella, California, and learned at an early age, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so this is Dr. Ruiz. It's not just that it's a mixture between stroking Fauci's ego and berating him. This guy is covering up for Fauci's criminality in a very, very subtle way. Listen to this.
Over the past 15 months, the Select Subcommittee has pored over more than 425,000 pages of documents provided to us by government agencies, universities, and private citizens. We have conducted more than 100 hours of closed-door interviews with 20 current and former federal officials and scientists. And what we have found is the following.
Oh, yeah, tell us.
Dr. Fauci did not fund research through the EcoHealth Alliance grant that caused
that's
the
bullshit.
COVID-19 pandemic.
That first of all, sorry, let me. You don't have to be a lawyer to be able to pick things up like this, but listen to what he said.
Citizens. We have conducted more than 100 hours of closed-door interviews with 20 current and former federal officials and scientists. And what we have found is the following. Dr. Fauci did not fund research through the EcoHealth Alliance grant that caused the COVID-19 pandemic.
Do you hear what he said? Do you hear what he did there? He did not fund research through the EcoHealth Institute that caused COVID.
Dr. Fauci did not fund research through the EcoHealth Alliance grant that caused the COVID-19 pandemic.
Do you know why this pathological and professional liar can say this? Because no one's confirmed that the research was done on that which caused the COVID. What this covers up is that Fauci did fund indirectly through the NGO EcoHealth Alliance the gain of function research that was being conducted at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. This is beyond dishonest. This is concealing for the criminality. I want to play one more time because it's the conjunction. It's always the conjunction. It's why, as a lawyer, you don't ask conjunctive questions. Did you do this and this and this and this? Well, the guy could say no, because I did this and this and this, but not that. One question: did they fund Eco Alliance? And the answer is yes. That it caused the COVID pandemic, that we couldn't say definitively. We can think it, but listen again.
It did not fund research through the EcoHealth Alliance grant that caused the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Fauci did not lie about gain and function research in Wuhan, China.
Yes, he did.
And Dr. Fauci did not orchestrate a campaign to suppress the lab leak theory.
Yes, he did.
After 15 months, the select subcommittee still does not possess a shred of evidence to substantiate these extreme allegations that Republicans have levied against Dr. Fauci for nearly 4 years.
I mean, how much of a liar do you have to be to get up? This is like, he's not Fauci's advocate. He's not Fauci's attorney. This is not closing arguments, and this is Fauci's attorney in a trial. This is supposed to be a member of Congress who's looking for the truth. No evidence that they funded gain of function research. They gave a grant to EcoHealth Alliance, the NAISD, whatever the hell is National Institute of Allergies and whatever, NAID. They gave it to them. They used it to fund what would otherwise, in any realm of the logical universe, be qualified as gain of function research. Did it cause COVID? Don't know that part, but they did that. He didn't work to cover it up. Liar. Hold on one second. I got to let my dog out of here.
Now I want to make something very clear. In the past month, the Select Subcommittee has held hearings where we have examined various serious issues of misconduct.
What's that?
In following the facts, Select Subcommittee Democrats uncovered troubling misconduct by Dr. Peter Daszak and EcoHealth Alliance, including potential efforts to mislead the federal government about the nature of its work through the evasion of reporting and transparency requirements.
Lying.
And less than 2 weeks ago, we heard from Dr. David Morens about his flagrant violation of the Freedom of Information Act's transparency requirements and the potential destruction of federal records. Both Dr. Daszak and Dr. Morens deserve to be held accountable for betraying the public's trust.
But Fauci's totally good.
To hold
Fauci's
them
a hero.
accountable is not anti-science. It is the defense of our federal scientific and research institutions' decades-long legacy of advancing the scientific enterprise to safeguard human health. But baselessly suggesting without evidence that these discrete instances of misconduct are equivalent to our nation's scientists and public health officials causing the COVID-19 pandemic, which has killed more than 1 million Americans and inflicted an immeasurable toll on our society, is also a betrayal of the public's trust.
Died with or died from COVID? Dr. Ruiz, do you even know that?
Which each of us are stewards of as elected members of this body.
Oh my gosh. You either get involved in politics or you end up being governed by your inferiors. Just he mentioned 2 doctors who they could plausibly blame something on. Does anybody remember those doctors? Here we go. The Fauci fall apart. Here we go. Is this the one? Former National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases Director Dr. Anthony Fauci has already been caught lying about COVID-19 many times. When is this from, by the way? This is recent, May 28th. Now, newly released emails from his longtime colleague, Dr. David Morenz, I think we just mentioned that guy, a senior advisor at the director of the National Institute of Health, show how broad-based conspiracy, including involvement from disgraced Department of Health and Human Services, Dr. Peter Daszak, the other guy that he just talked about, to cover up the trio's role in facilitating gain-of-function research at China's Wuhan Institute. The two of the three are guilty as hell, but Fauci, Mr. Science himself, is a hero. There's a fly on the camera. Get out of here. Get out of here. The 150 emails released by the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic shows Morenz knowingly and intentionally attempted to conceal evidence embarrassing to himself, Fauci, and Daszak. These efforts included deleting sensitive emails, conducting official business on private email accounts, and I always write from my private email account. It's totally normal. Then we delete them, eh? And strategically misspelling keywords to escape the reach of the Freedom of Information Act. Oh no, there's no evidence, Dr. Ruiz. You're not participating in crimes against humanity right now by facilitating and covering them up. You're the good guy. I learned about the NIH FOIA lady here how to make emails disappear after I am FOIA, but before the search starts. So I think we're all safe, Morenz wrote in an email. Plus, I deleted most of those earlier emails after sending them to Gmail. The email suggests Fauci knowingly involved in the cover-up, with Morenz claiming he could help Fauci avoid FOIA accountability. Where am I? I can either send stuff to Tony on his private Gmail or hand it to him. Criminals of the highest order. The emails show Morenz shared confidential NIH marked for office use with Daszak. Please feel, though these guys were guilty as hell, according to Dr. Ruiz, but somehow, Fauci evades all responsibility. It's serenity now. Hold on one second, people. Let me just get it. I'll show you this one while I read it off my other phone. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. What we're going to do right now, because I see our guest in the backdrop, I've got a few more videos which I'll play afterwards. Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, some other fun stuff. But this is going to segue into what Tiffany Justice and Moms for Liberty are doing. I said Moms for Freedom or Moms for Liberty? I'm forgetting. It doesn't matter. We're going to get to it in a second. This is going to segue into what they're doing. And it's amazing stuff. I'm also going to have to play at least a bit of Tiffany on Joy Reid with that video. Oh my goodness. All right. We're going to get into this, but we're going to get into this on the free speech platform of Rumble and vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Locals, get some questions in if you have any. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to end on Twitter now. But by Twitter, you can find the entire stream on Viva Clips, or I might have to rename it Viva Replay. The entire stream goes on Viva Clips, and certain segments will come on Viva Frei, and stay tuned for short videos, vlogs, car stuff, etc., etc. And the audio is always, or pretty much always, on podcast at Viva and Barnes Law for the People on Podbean and elsewhere. So ending on Twitter now. Okay. And now we're going to end on, we're going to end on YouTube now. And then we're going to bring on our guest.